So at this point, I filled in most of the shadow areas of the face. And it was very simply done. The same way you just saw me do this area up here, I just took my Vine charcoal and roughly shaded it in to the edge of those lines that we placed in before, and then I made little circles with my fingers to blend that in, okay? Now, where it gets the most delicate is right in here around the nose, and so I want to take you through that after the fact a little bit more. If you look at the photo, you see there's sort of a backward C shape to the eye socket between the mid-tones here and the shadow on this side. So that's what I did. I put in a little backward C shape, then side to side where the transition from the nose to the cheek is, right here. Then the edge of that cast shadow here, this path of the shadow down the bridge of the nose to that edge here, and around the ball of the nose and over like that, okay? And also a little bit of value under the nose as well. Now, this is not nearly as detailed or as dark as certain parts of it need to go. This is simply a start, okay? In fact, I need to bring this area of shadow in here just a little bit more on the eye as well, okay? So that's rough, but it very quickly and very easily blends out like that. Okay, so at a certain point, we need and want these shadow areas to stop going away just because we've lightly touched them. So at this point, I'm going to bring out my my compressed charcoal, and rub it on a scratch sheet of paper, pick some up on my finger, and begin adding more tone to this shadow side. Okay? And the core shadow, as you should know by now, usually borders the light side. So I'm going to start right through here and blend out from there. So you notice right now I'm putting my finger directly on the charcoal. If for no other reason than my photo fell off and I don't have the other hand free. Like so. I'm going to get my photo taped back up and then I'll join you again for the nose. Okay, I've got my photo taped back up and I have added just a little bit more in terms of core shadow through there and smoothed out just a touch more as well. So now I'm going to come into the nose. This is, I guess you could say, the dangerous part, okay? So I am going to start with the nostrils because that's one place that is legitimately very dark, and as long as I draw the shape correctly, it would be hard to mess it up by going too dark, okay? So again, the nostrils are not big circles in the face. This is not a pig, okay? It's a sideways comma shape, and the darkest part is right here, and then it fades slightly as it rolls around in this direction. Okay? Now, I've got that in, and I'm a little scared to, because this charcoal is so thick. You notice I've got it honed to a little bit of a point, but it's still pretty thick. I'm scared to do any more detail work in it than that, so I'm going to get my tortillon now. And I'm going to pick up some of that charcoal dust with the tortillon. And where I need to blend that out a little bit, I'm going to use the tortillon to do that because this is a small and very delicate area. Okay, I'm going to move on to this next nostril. Now you'll notice the ball of the nose is doing this, okay? So this line of the nostril is not going to arc this way, it's going to arc this way, okay? So make sure that you don't violate the edge of the ball of the nose there. Okay, so we've got our two nostrils in there. I may need to take this just a little darker. Okay, so I'll hit that once more. Now, I need to get this cast shadow that goes around the outside edge of the nostril. So I'm going to take my tortillon and rub it on the charcoal directly. And I'm going to make little circles to begin filling that area in. And the reason I'm using the tortillon is because this is a small, delicate area, and I don't think my finger can get a fine enough point to do this well. Okay, now I'm to a point where I can probably come in here and start working a little bit with the finger. So there's a little bit of a shadow that comes down from here, from the base of the nose, in a little, and then down to the lip. So I'm going to pop that in here like so. And this little shadow that's running down here goes to that little pocket there in the corner of the lip. There's a little laugh line right here, just barely. So I'm going to get that started with this as well. Like that. Next, there's a little pocket of shadow between the ball of the nose and the ball of the nostril, right about here. And there's only a little sliver of highlight right here. And interestingly enough, because the light is coming so much from the side, the highlight is actually at the bottom of the nostril instead of the top. So I need to fill this in generally until I get right down here. And I'm leaving just this little touch of highlight right through there. All right. Now, I'm going to move up here to the, actually, am I finished with that yet? Let's see, I'm going to put a little bit more tone here on the bottom of the nose. There. And I'm going to bring, so you notice here on the nose, there's one little tiny spot of really bright highlight. And right now I've got a very large area of white. So what I'm actually going to do is just barely apply a tone to that whole area can make it a very, very light gray. In fact, I may as well go ahead and do this down here too. And what that's going to do, it's going to allow me to come back with an eraser. I have somehow managed to misplace my other eraser, so I guess I have to use this. An eraser with charcoal is not for fixing mistakes. An eraser for charcoal is used for actual drawing. And what I'm going to do is erase out that tiny little spot of highlight right there on the tip of the nose. And I can do that because I've got a very light tone of gray right there.